What's up, Yu-Gi-Oh players? This is the RJB0 coming at you again on Wednesday night, this time with my stupid deck profile of the month. I hope you guys like seeing this kind of stuff from me. I'd like to continue doing it, so let me know in the comments if you like my stupid deck profiles. So this month's is something I call Secret Agent because it's ninjas with gadgets. It's not an amazing deck, but it's been doing okay on the Dueling. Actually, it's been doing pretty darn well on the Dueling Network. But that's primarily because of my ability to use Shockmaster on the Dueling Network. I need to get one of those for myself. But I'll explain more about that later. On to the actual deck profile. 2 of each gadget. 1 is useless, 3 is too much, 2 is good. Gadgets are how this deck works. They're your basic example of a floater. You summon one, adds another one to your hand, so you get field presence and you keep the same number of cards in your hand. This allows you to use 1-for-1s without worrying about losing card advantage. It also makes Tragoedia really good, and with the amount of field clearing power in this deck, you don't really have to worry about gadgets not having a lot of their own firepower. Thunder King Ryo, I run 3 of them, a choice that a lot of people have issues with, since this deck runs around floaters and Ryo kind of kills floaters. However, if you have a Ryo on the board, you're not really worrying about using your floaters. Let's be honest. You're waiting for your opponent to overextend themselves to get around that Ryo. Next, Hanzo. It's really the best ninja and the only one that I think is worth using. It's another floater. It's 1800, which is good. It's a dark monster, which allows it to be used in the chaos plays that I do in this deck. Moving on to the stuff that I get with Hanzo. Light Pulsar Dragon. It's the bigger of the 2. I like this card in this deck because it's live no matter when you draw it, because it can be chaos summoned along with being used with Super Trans, which I like a lot. Not to mention the fact that it's only level 6, which means that you can get a low-level monster from your opponent and get this card, so that's good. Next, Tujarak Gwaiba. I'm considering running a 3rd over that 3rd Ryo. Once again, always live in your hand, and you can get it with Super Trans, which is really helpful because occasionally your opponent will like Book of Moon something to try and make sure that you can't do anything with Super Trans, but you end up summoning this guy instead, running over their monster, getting Logia at the end of the turn. So that's really good. 2 Effect Veiler. It's Effect Veiler with priority gone. The card's even better than it was before. 2 Tragoedia. This is the biggest boss of the deck. It usually sits on about 3,000 attack. It can get up to 4,200 attack in this deck pretty easily. It's really well rounded because you can Xyz with it a lot, you can Synchro with it a lot. It's a mind control. It's just too good. 1 Gores. I would run a 3rd Tragoedia over Gores if I could, but Gores is still good. BLS, it's BLS, why wouldn't I use it? 2 Smashing Ground, once again, with the gadgets, keeping good card advantage. Smashing Ground and other 1-for-1s are not, they aren't a disadvantage. So Smashing Ground is really nice field clearing power. 2 MSTs and a heavy. Standard back row hate. I don't think I really need any more in this deck. Monster Reborn is a staple. Rhoda, you really want to draw into that Hanzo first turn or second turn, so it's nice to have a little more chance of drawing into it. Dark Hole, because it's Dark Hole, Pot of Duality, just some deck thinning, a little consistency adding, and you don't do a whole lot of special summoning with this deck. 3 Super Sexy Transformation Sequence Go. This is what you get with Hanzo. It's the other part of the main engine of this deck. I am considering, because this card clogs up in the hand a lot, getting a Fiendish Chain in here and replacing Pot of Duality with Magic Planter, but that's just a thought. I don't know how that would actually work. 2 Torrential, because it's Torrential, why wouldn't you? 2 Warning, I don't run Judgment, just because I don't have room and it isn't that important to this deck. 2 D Prison, once again with 1-for-1s. It's a really good card. And then Mirror Force, because it's awesome. Yeah, I'm thinking of turning these 2 D Prisons into bottomlesses. That's the only trap lineup change, aside from the Magic Planter thing, that I would make. So there's the main deck. Onto the extra deck. A lot of this is just thrown together because it's what I have. Your basic Synchros at the top. Your level 4 Exceeds, 1 Logia, 2 Utopia, 1 Maestro. I'd like to add a Shockmaster to that. It's really nice to be able to summon a second gadget and then go into Utopia and be able to protect yourself with that. Formula Synchron is just for funnies. People wonder why I put this in my extra deck. There have been a couple times where I just trolled people by summoning Trigodia and then normal summoning Effect Veiler and syncing for 2. I don't know why. It's just hilarious when I get to do it. Gaia Knight because I might use another level 6. Stardust because it's Stardust, and Chimera Tech because I side Cyber Dragons. So there you go. That's the stupid deck profile of the month. Let me know if there's a specific kind of stupid deck you would like to see from me. Other than that, this is the RJB0 signing out.